Hello, hi all. Today I'm going to discuss about the Power BI quick data load option. Okay, so here I'm going to select the data source. So my data source is the CSV file at the moment. Okay, I'll choose the CSV file as a source and it contains the customer information. So I have selected the retail domain project. So in the retail domain project, I have selected the store specific customer details. Okay. So now I'm going to perform the transform data. Observe very clearly. Okay. So we'll perform the transform data and we will observe both what these two options are. Okay. So transform data is a one you can create a steps for your data and you can customize your data. Similarly, like how ETL going to perform, right? So you know ETL, extract, transform, load, right? So similar way, you can do the data transformation. Transformation is nothing but you are making the data as a useful to your client. You are filtering out unnecessary data from your data source, whatever required data, so that only we are keeping and that only we are showing to the business. Okay. So example, let's take, I don't want the customer state, something belongs to AC. So I can make this step and I don't select this particular state. So now you see here there are some steps, applied steps. You can make as many steps based on your data. So going forward, I will show what are all the steps we can add. You see here, insert step after and move before. So these are all the steps. Similar way, like um, steps, nothing but rules. What we need to do. Okay, it's like a instruction. You are giving the instruction to Power BI that. So these are the steps need to be performed to make the required data to your client, and client will get benefited for this options. Okay, so obviously client will use the quantified data. So whatever more processed data is there, so that data only business going to use. For that, you are making all these steps. Okay, so the required steps you are going to perform. Okay, similarly what I'm saying is, so it's like a step by step process. Suppose example, you wanted to um, learn something. What you will go, you will first learn the basics and then you will go some advanced, and after that you will go some more complex programming. So like that way we will start, right? So if something we wanted to learn, so similar way here also we have a steps. So do this one first. And next step, I can add one more step. Insert after. So what I will do, I'm going to add another step. So that is called, I'm going to filter out the city. If I don't want any city, I'll apply the filter for this. So at the moment when I selected this step, right? So you see another filter condition get added over here in this data. So you could rename this, okay, in the format. So what I have mentioned, so state not equal to AC. Okay, something like that I can represent. So that I'll come to know that this step is not belongs to AC state. Okay. So let's click and apply, and your data changes will be applied over here. Okay. So you see here the data is loading in the format of data set. You see here. So the data set is added here inside this data. So now here, what I will do is, let me show you the load option as well. So the load option is something you can directly load into your model. Okay. So I'll try to load some sample data instead of keeping all data. So I'll try to make order payment data sets example. Okay. So let's load this one and we'll directly load it. Okay. So let's click on load. Once you click on load this data, so it will get loaded into the, now you, if you observe, I did not see any option earlier I have received. Okay. a transformation. So it is directly loaded into the Power BI report. Okay, earlier we got a screen that. So what screen we are getting? Let me show you here. If you click on edit query, so this screen is not showing in the earlier whatever the transform you have selected, right? So that option not showing for load. But after loading the data, you can use the query to perform the similar step whatever you have performed. So here also you could perform. Okay, but only the option is, so at the initial time you don't get the transform options. Okay, so now let's create some report, and we'll design some report over here. So any report when starting, so you should require a proper naming conventions. Okay, so any report or any when you start, the design and layout is very important. Okay, so now I have selected this option. You can write retail sales. So these are belongs to retail sales report. So this is my report name, that is called the customer retail sales. I'll add it as customer retail sales. So customer retail sales is the one, so which I have selected over here. And now you can do the background and everything. Okay, you can make the background changes, and you can do the all the cosmetic changes over here. So if you click on here, and once you click on, so here we have all these options. Okay, so these options are very useful, and you can utilize this option to make the data alignment. Okay, so now let's go on to here. We have some couple of properties, effects and everything, right? So if you observe here, it's a white space, right? So I wanted to change it something like this way, or I wanted to change it some other way. Okay, so I can change the colors based on my requirement. If you see here, these are all the options I have, and I'm going to add. So if you wanted to make visual border some other color, you can change it. Example, I wanted to make this color as a um, yellow color example. So this border will be added in the outside. If you see here, it's very slight yellow color it is added. And now here basically you need to change the text color as well, right? So the text color should be, it is in a black color now, right? So I wanted to, let's make it some more brighter. Okay, so the color should be something like this. So subtitles, if you wanted to add subtitles, you can add it. Okay, and effects, so go to here, and visual borders we have added, and header icon, all text. So if you wanted to change the text, you can change it. And spacing, if you wanted to give some spacings to your adder, you can give it. Okay, so all those things we can represent here. Okay, so let's take the text color as black, so we just keep it black. So similar way you can change the colors and position. So these are all the options I'll discuss more on going forward. Okay, so at the moment, so this is my first banner I have created. So in this banner now, so let me quickly select this. So I'll select this border. So I'll make some color over here. So here also we can have some customizations. So you can do the some customization options as well here. Okay, so all the customizations you can done here as well, in the title border and anything. Okay, so you can change, and you can make, if you want subtitles, you can make it subtitles, everything. Okay, so derived spacing, effects, so these are all the options are used for the data manipulations. And example, now what I'll do is I wanted to create a first I wanted to show the customer total count. Okay, so based on the data, so I'll show the customer total count. Will change again customer cosmetic changes. Okay, so let's do the count. So I'll do the count. I want only the customer count. Okay, so I'll add this. So now go to the, I wanted to change the background as well. Okay, so din and it's a bold. Okay, so now I'm going to give some category label. Okay, so I don't want any label. Go to the properties and title already off. I have not given anything. Okay, and background color I'll change it to something like this. Okay, or I'm going to give some meaningful colors. So light pink I have given, and if you wanted to give visual borders, you can give the visual border. So visual border something I'm going to give like this. Okay, very dark color, I'm going to add it and with the spacings. And if you wanted to make it shadow like this, so it will be now shadow. Okay, so now this visual is ready. Okay, so I'm going to create another visual for charts. Okay, I'll represent in the format of chart. So let's keep this one aside. And if you click and you are trying to select any visual, it will overwrite. You need to come out and again you need to add the visuals. Okay, so now let's add the visual over here. Okay, so I'm going to align the visual here. So let's align it over here. So we'll adjust the visuals later. Okay, and now customer wise I wanted to see city wise, or let me state wise. We'll take the state wise. Customer count, I want the customers, what are all the state, based on the state I wanted to find out the values. So I'll select this one instead of this. Okay, so and I'll make the customer state as a line y. Okay, you see here I have represented the line for that. And in the chart level, so this chart is basically to represent state-wise customer count, your x-axis and your y-axis. Okay, remember this. These are all the charts and visuals. Okay, so now I wanted to represent my customer state-wise customer IDs. So customer is the x-axis, state, whatever the state is there. You see here, state is the x-axis and customer IDs are the y-axis. Okay, so this way you can represent each visual. Okay, so till here we have added the three visuals over here. You can stretch it up here, or let me draw some more somewhat here. Okay, I have stretched it up here with the maximum value. And similar way, you can add any of this. If you wanted to add line chart, so in the line chart, what we can do is, so I'll take the order ID. So order wise, I wanted to see, otherwise I'll take the, based on the payment type, I wanted to know total orders. Okay, I wanted to define the total orders based on the payment type. So what are the payments? So payments, I'll make it as legend. Legend is something, it will create a color coding. So we have these types of payment type. One is the credit card, Bolito, voucher, debit card, non-defined. So these are all the options we have to represent the data. I have selected the line chart. So line chart is the one which is used to represent your data. So you can make any kind of example. I wanted to know the installments as well. So I'll make it as a small multiple. Okay. Or otherwise I'll take this as a tooltip. So you can add it anything. Okay. So based on your requirements, you can add the payment type or value. Okay. So I'll discuss more options later. So till here today, we have defined the charts. Okay. I have represented the line chart, and as well as I have represented with the line and stacked column chart. These two charts and with the card. So these are the visuals today I have discussed, and you need to give the page name as the customer. Okay, rename this visual name as customer so that we will come to know. So this is a customer report. Okay, so you can save this after doing the changes. I have saved it. So that's all about for today. So I'm going to show bit more visuals in my next sessions. Thank you. Please subscribe and please